Hello everyone, welcome to the NXT Takeover WrestleSpin Edition podcast, and today myself and Nintendogen64 are going to discuss that show. There's nothing flashy about that intro, it's just all about getting to the point. NXT Takeover 2 or NXT Takeover Fatal 4-Way, whatever they were going for. Angus, take it away, my friend.
Take it away. Well, what can I say about NXT Takeover 2 Fatal 4-Way? It's got a long title. The show goes for about 2 hours, and for most of those 2 hours, you will be glued to your television and or computer screen with excitement. I love this show. I quite frankly thought NXT Takeover 2 could be definitely, I think, the best NXT pay-per-view type thing we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Could be contender for show of the year, overall, like major show of the year, because I thought this show hit everything it should have hit. The Fatal 4-Way main event for the title was excellent. Mm-hmm. The tag team match was excellent. The women's title match, that was excellent. The other matches did what they needed to do.
And the post show was actually very good storyline wise too, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So as a complete cohesive unit, the 3-hour show, if you call pre-show to post-show, it was good. Do you know what I mean? Like I do count that other hour.
Well, I didn't actually see those pre-shows or post-shows. So maybe you should talk about the pre-show first.
Pre-show is not too much to say. Just a regular pre-show. They do stuff now. While the pre-show was actually going on, the lucky crowd at Full Sail were actually enjoying the first singles match between Becky Lynch and Paige since probably like ages ago, back in like Shimmer or something like that.
Yeah,
so
maybe.
Those guys were having like a pre-show match. The on televised stuff or whatever, it was basically, Renee and Jason Albert and Real talking about stuff. And that's in fact where the match for CJ Parker was concocted. Basically, he breaks through with his sign and shit, and he's like, I want a match. You're trying to silence me. Do you know what I mean? And so they go, I will give you a match, and then Rhea goes, I'm not going to tell you who the opponent is, and so that's how the whole thing later on happens. So
I see.
So even that, which you think, it just sounds like they've made it up out of nowhere. If you watch the pre-show, no, you will actually get an explanation as to why that happens.
Well, they explained it on the actual show, but
they did, but like. Yeah, it's cool. So anyway, so the pre-show, not much to say. The post-show is probably where the interesting stuff is to talk about. But you might as well start off with the tag match, which, hey, it's I'm very happy with the result. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, so the first match was actually the Lucha Dragons, as they're called now. That's Kalisto and Sin Cara taking on the Ascension, who's Connor and Victor, for the NXT Tag Team titles. The Lucha Dragons go over here, and a very, very good match, actually. I thought this was a really good tag team match.
Yes.
The Ascension being booked as this unstoppable team that need competition, that kind of thing. And it's been like they've faced a lot of jobbers in the early days with the Ascension. Like, it's taken a while for them to get proper over, in my book, because at first I thought it was like a kind of sarcastic kind of over, with the whole yah thing. But now it's kind of turned into like, it's been quite organic the way they've gone about it. And same with Kalisto. Kalisto has gotten over really well with the crowd as well. That lucha stuff is actually flying.
Yeah. Have you noticed that that what's it called? That quite a lot of the like entrance themes for these wrestlers are all based around chantable kind of sounds.
Yeah. Like
do you know
Kalisto
what I mean?
is
Bull,
one. Yeah.
Kalisto.
Bull Dempsey's.
Bull Dempsey. Even though it won't work, hype. For I don't get hyped, I stay hyped, all that stuff. So they kind of base their themes around that. But the lucha stuff, I'm pretty sure that has its roots in some lucha heritage. So it's not. I don't feel like it's like fake.
Lucha means fight or fighting or something like that in
that's right. Yeah.
In Spanish.
Like puro resu, puro in Japan.
And libre means dance. So lucha libre is fight dance.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Jack Black.
But so Kalisto and Sin Cara go over here. The story with a lot of Kalisto matches, or it's Kalisto tag matches, is that he doesn't really get in until the very end of the match.
Well,
which plays
funny you say that.
Yeah.
But that probably the biggest problem with their arrival, I mean, Takeover 1 match was that it was actually like El Local that got the tag in, and he's a bit big. Do you know what I mean? So like it kind of didn't have the same impact.
Well, I like this match a lot more than their
Exactly.
original
I
one.
mean, because let's be honest, Sin Cara, who is played by Hunico,
Yeah,
um,
so hilarious.
is very good.
Oh, he's far
You know,
better than the original.
Mystico is not bad at all. That's the guy behind the original Sin Cara,
Yeah.
but he never like took off because he didn't want to learn English. He didn't go down to developmental.
No, yeah.
But as people say, as people like to say, I think Callisto is what they wanted Sin Cara to be. I think that's, you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
he's in developmental. He's a humble guy. He's a good wrestler.
He
He
speaks
has a
English.
history in the Indies or wherever he was. Yeah, he speaks English. This guy is going to be big. I honestly think he will be big, and it's even kind of revitalized Sin Cara as well. And I thought that their post-match kind of thing was really, it felt real to me. Like, I felt like they were genuinely excited. It wasn't some amazing promo or anything, but I just thought, fucking hell, yeah, you deserve it. Good on you guys.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I felt really good when they got the title when they won because Connor and Victor, obviously it seems like they're grooming them to go up to the main roster. They had a match on main event this week, and
now that wasn't their debut. I mean, okay, technically it was, but it was more like a preview for the show. But yes, I think they will be properly debuting very soon.
yeah, and I can see him going up against the Wyatt family, and I can see him
Oh,
going
that'd
up
be
against
cool.
Usos possibly. I mean, I don't want
I
to
really don't want them to get squashed.
Stardust and Goldust maybe.
Yeah, that'd be
You
cool.
could
Oh,
have
there's a lot of potential for. Let's be honest here. I think there's a lot. I mean, even though I know a lot of people don't have any faith in the Vaudevillains on the main roster, it doesn't. As a fan, I don't think about that kind of bullshit. I would love to see any of those guys face any of the current crop of what's the word, guys. You know what I mean?
I would love to see a match between Stardust and Goldust and the Vaudevillains.
Yeah, so would I.
Because I just think that would be a great match. But digressions aside, yeah, this was a really, really, well, maybe not really, really, but it was a very
No, it was good. It was
entertaining.
good.
It
Very
was a
good.
solid tag team match. Towards the end, they had every single tag match, for any kind of title ends with a brawl to the outside sort of thing, and then it looked like for the guys the Ascension would go for their Fall of Man finisher, but Sin Cara came in and I think
I will
stopped.
say they did a pretty good job of making me worried.
Yeah, me too.
I was pretty worried there. I was thinking, shit, it could actually happen
Yeah, like
again.
it looked like they were going to hit the Fall of Man on Kalisto and then win the
Bear in
match.
mind, now, in the scenario that the Lucha Dragons don't win, I wouldn't have been super upset, believe it or not. That's because I actually do like the Ascension, and I feel like even if they did win, they wouldn't hold them for too much longer. I reckon
Mhm.
let's say that they did win, right? This is fantasy booking here. I think they would have. I reckon they would have got to the 365-day count
Yeah.
and pretty much then lost them. I reckon a taping, not another live show. That's my guess, but
Yeah.
but yeah, that doesn't really matter. But I think the point is that even if they lost, I wouldn't be too upset. But this, to me, even though it was first, was the icing on top of the cake, match result wise.
Yeah,
For this show.
fantastic way to open the show. Very fast-paced match. Like I said, it looked like they're going to hit the Fall of Man to finish the match, and then Sin Cara comes in, and then it's Victor versus Kalisto for a brief period of time, and Kalisto hits his awesome finisher. Actually, it's like a stunner into like some kind of backflip into reverse DDT sort of thing. It's kind of difficult to actually name. I don't actually know what the name of it is, but it's like, yeah, a really cool looking finisher. And then they do a post-match promo, which you've really felt like they earned the titles. Actually, it felt like
That's
it
why I
meant
was saying,
something to
yeah,
them.
it did. Yeah, exactly. It felt real to me, definitely.
Yeah. Next match was a weird match, if you can even call it a match. It was, like you said, CJ Parker coming out against Mr. Jobber entrance Baron Corbin. Now, this is a tangent I want to go off on here, and I know you'll totally agree with me on this tangent, is that these guys, who they feature in big ways, all used to be jobbers, or for the most part, except for a select few like Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville. A lot of guys who you see as jobbers will, become something. So Baron Corbin, used to be a jobber,
Yes, he
essentially.
did.
So did, like, say, Tyler Breeze used to be a no gimmick jobber. So did Bull Dempsey. So did Adrian Neville, actually. Oh no, Adrian Neville, Aiden English rather. They're just like these no gimmick jobbers who you see them around, just jobbing out and that kind of thing. And then they put them with a gimmick, and then they put them on TV, and they call it their debut and just ignore everything that just happened before, which I'm
Hmm.
fine with. So yeah, Baron Corbin I think he was in a tag team with this guy called Sawyer Fulton,
I think that's it.
and they were just like a job tag team essentially. So this is like they treat this as his debut, and so CJ Parker comes out, and the match goes for like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something, and what was the finisher Baron Corbin hit? Because it looked
It's called
amazing.
like a urinage STO or something like that. Some STO type thing.
Yeah, it was like
That's
a
yeah.
rock bottom into like a reverse sit out face buster thingy or something.
Kind of reminds me of Sister Abigail in some weird way, like some powerful kind of reverse. I don't know. It's real. Whatever it was. Props to CJ Parker for taking it really, really well. Like he made it look excellent, and so did Baron himself.
So what is
So,
Baron Corbin's gimmick exactly?
well, all I have to say is that I just felt hyped watching it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And more than, Mojo Rawley makes me feel hyped. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, it's just like there was something about the guy that was very, very, very like, intriguing.
He has a
That's the
great
only
look,
way I
doesn't
can
he?
really say. Yeah, you can tell. I mean, he used to actually be quite overweight. He used to be a linebacker or something for the NFL. You can tell he's lost a lot of weight, and that's why his stomach's a bit like kind of he's kind of stretchy. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Some people did note that, but the tattoos look pretty cool. I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
say that.
Like
Like
the tattoos look
tattoos
good.
look great. His facial expressions before the match was excellent. You know what I mean? Like he just looked like some guy. Like what the fuck is he? Like he is just. And then the way he exits the ring and just starts and just walks out.
Yeah, that
You know
was
what I mean?
great. That was
He just
great.
did not give a fuck. He just took him down. That was it.
I
You know what I
hope
mean? Like
that's what I want to see from this guy. I want to see them like treat him as this like enigma kind of guy. Like he has really quick matches and he just leaves immediately. Because usually most of the time, like say a wrestler wins the match, their opponent rolls out of the ring, leaves quietly, and they celebrate in for a bit.
yeah.
I liked it how like he walks out, just walks out, and then they focus on CJ Parker for a bit, like lying there in pain, and it really makes the gravitas of what
A great, great guy to
he's just done.
debut against because everyone hates CJ Parker. I don't even hate CJ Parker. I mean, like as like a guy, like like people hate him personally. I think he does his job really well. He's like an annoying heel kind of low carder, mid carder. You know what I mean? Like
He
I
has a
think
fine gimmick.
yeah, I think he's fine. I think he can work with it, and I think that he's not done after this. That's for sure. I think it was great to see him get squashed. I thought, you know what I mean? Like I think that was the perfect job for him at the pay per view.
Yeah,
You know?
and Baron Corbin impressive in his debut, and I love it when they like debut these guys with proper gimmicks. When you've seen them before and like them, it's like, oh, it's Bull Dempsey. Oh my god, I remember when he was a jobber. Like
Yeah.
it makes you
And
just
then everyone turned on them in about a week because they're really fickle. But
yeah,
yes, I know what you're saying.
but you
Yeah.
feel this like weird like attachment to these guys.
Yeah, it's exactly the way I
It's like
felt. Yeah.
I know this guy.
It's
I've
like
been
it's
with
like
him.
on Raw. It's like I felt like a father when I was watching Adrian Neville and Zayn and that on the main roster. I was
Yeah,
like, I know these are my boys. You know what I mean? Like I know because you know that not as many people know who they are, so it feels special. That's like you know him.
yeah,
So it was exactly like that with Baron Corbin. Like people that are clued into the internet knew for a fact that he was going to be someone because Triple H was always talking him up. There was those photos of him like in his biker gimmick type thing or what he was like in this bike thing, very similar to the way he looks now. A
yeah.
couple months ago before Shaw Guerrero got released, so, she was originally with him. So we did have a feeling that Baron Corbin was going to make like an impact, but tonight being the night was great. Good time to debut and very memorable. He actually became the number one trend worldwide. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
he not just a trend,
I
number one trend
I
worldwide. So
don't know how, but yeah.
that's pretty cool. A lot of people must have been watching this one. I'd wager a bet to say this is probably the most viewed paper NXT event. If I had to guess,
Yeah, probably.
just based on the extra exposure, the Raw match would have got a few people interested. Maybe you know what I mean. You never know. As I said to you, I always think that the best way to promote like the network and stuff like that is actually to physically show the kind of exclusive content you're going to get, or
Exactly. Yeah,
base,
yeah,
you know what I
giving
mean?
people a little taste of it or something.
exactly. But
And
no, excellent stuff. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so the next match was a hair versus hair match. Haven't seen one of these in a while. Um,
Yeah.
Enzo Amore with Colin
Classic.
Cassidy defeating Sylvester Lefort with Marcus Louis.
Lefort, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that guy. I actually really like Sylvester Lefort and
Is it? Do
Marcus
you like
Lewis.
him because he was a nameless, faceless jobber against the Big Show with Zack Zodiac and some other guy?
No, that's not why I like him.
Oh,
I swear I've liked him before that. But seeing that made it about 20 times better. Yes. So now he's probably in my fave five. No, he's great. He's great. He's a great smarmy heel, like, chicken shit heel.
and you
So it's
really wanted to
Marcus.
see him get his hair cut, even though that
Yeah, and
didn't happen.
that's why they made Marcus Louis, because arguably he's the more like sympathetic guy, if you can even call him that. So it was kind of like, oh, he got his hair cut, but like, meh. But Lefort, like, he is like, hugely, like, he's got a huge beard, huge head of hair. Like, if they do get him finally, it's gonna be pretty
I think
cool.
they will. I think they'll eventually get him. I think there'll be some kind of like thing where William Regal will be like, you were signed to the match. You agreed to the hair versus hair stipulation. You bailed out
Yes,
of it.
yes. Yeah, I think that's very much true.
But like,
Um,
so yeah, this match was a okay match. I mean, like Enzo Amore is nothing in the ring. Like he's not that great in the ring, but he's fantastic on the mic.
he's got a good he's got a good like psychology, like he kind of, he sells the beatdowns really well. He sells the beatings really well. He's not the best wrestler, but he's the type of guy. But that's the reason why he's down at NXT.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's developmental. Even though it's very popular, it's still developmental, and he's got a way to go. But I think that he's definitely, he gets better all the time, and I still think he's good. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Obviously, you have to be somewhat good to make it to the company.
But let's talk about
Um,
his mic skills though, because
but yeah, his mic skills is what you
he
need to like.
oozes charisma. This guy does. Like his
Yeah.
before the match promo is like the crowd says it with him, and it's a mark of like charisma and likability and that kind of thing when you can actually get the crowd invested in this.
Yes, yes.
Like it's a long speech he makes at the start of every match. Like I'm a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. That kind of thing.
Certified G, yeah, that's it.
Certified G and a bona fide stud. Yeah, no, and like he's a chemistry with Big Cass as well. Is they got a great chemistry, these two guys do.
They do. Both of them are they're both good talkers, and they're both fun. You know what I mean? Like that. They're both you care. They're basically they're just entertaining people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're the type of sports entertainers or whatever that Vince should be looking for, not fucking big giant. I mean, ironically, Colin Cassidy is like a giant, but you know what I'm saying, like that
And
kind
he
of
can work though. Colin
Carly
Cassidy
bullshit.
can work.
Oh no, I agree, he can work. Yeah, of course he can. But like they're like the sports entertainers in the very sense like that they're very much about the mic skills and entertainment value. You know what I mean? Yet Vince McMahon's the type of guy that just likes midgets and fucking, giants.
Mm.
So it's kind of like, yeah, these are the guys they should be trying to put work shit around. You
And
know
I
what I
think
mean?
they will. I think they're moving towards these two guys. Is like I think
I don't think they're going to hit the main roster for a while though,
no,
to be
but I think
honest.
when they do, they will be something.
Yes, I do think so.
Yeah.
That is very true. Because I think you put him in a smart city for 1 week, and people will do that. People will do that promo, and it will be memorable.
I
And you
think
know
you
what's
put him
funny?
anywhere and they'll get over. I just think
I think, yeah, on TV, you put him, give him the promo, and I think everyone will notice it. That's
I,
what
I
That's what
think
will happen.
casuals will get into him too because my brother who is a casual fan kind of enjoyed their team.
Did he watch it or something?
Yeah, I had it on and he was playing TF2 in the background and sort of watching it half watching it. I can tell you he is a match later on that he thought was really really good, and he's a
Really?
casual fan and he could connect the dots with that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, yeah. Like, I think obviously like the thing was they weren't actually going to cut anyone's hair. They were just going to dump them in like this bucket, which was supposed to be a hair loss solution. So like they did it on
That
some
really
dog.
goofy promo with Carmella, who's actually a diva as well.
Oh, is
Um,
she?
Yet to debut. Yeah. Yeah. She's actually a wrestler.
So yeah, before the match, they like put some on this poodle and they showed, oh look, this stuff removes hair, and so they tipped it all on Marcus Louis' head because Sylvester Lefort ran off, so they just decided to make him lose his hair, and so he runs off, backstage, and I guess they just shaved his hair off or something backstage, and so they eventually, like later on, they come out and take the towel off his head and reveal that he's bald or something.
Yeah.
He actually looks better bald, I think. I
It
don't know.
was pretty cool, actually.
And
He
the way
had a
he
great
sold,
reaction.
yeah, his selling of like them removing the towel was amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
he's I think he's got a future.
I quite like Marcus Louis actually.
Yeah,
He's got this kind of like, I don't know, like they can call him ugly and that kind of thing, which is
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
But
Bullying is
next match, which I think was what they should have done with the next match, was the Bull Dempsey versus Mojo Rawley match, which went for a total of, according to Wikipedia, 1 minute and 10 seconds.
they knew that. Yeah, that they had to make this short, and fuck off with all the hate against those guys. I thought that was perfectly fine, honestly. Anyone that's like, oh yeah, that was shit, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like it was intense. He did 2 flying headbutts off the top rope. It was fine. They could have done anything, and people would diss them.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem with some of the IWC hatred with some people, is that they're not willing to look at any strengths for some of these people. That match was fine. I thought it was good. Dare I say, for a 1 minute match, it got everything that needed to be accomplished, and I'm pretty sure that Mojo Rawley took a hit after that. Like
Yeah,
actually
Mojo Rawley was actually bleeding.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he actually, took a bump or something like that. Something happened that kind of was, yeah, I mean, not fine. That was fine. I had no problem with that at all. By the way, you've actually skipped this segment.
Oh yeah,
What
sorry.
happens before then?
We'll get to it. I think we'll get to it in a second. We'll just talk about this match first, which we did. So yes, prior to this match, we had the debut of international sensation Kenta, or should I say, Hideo Itami. Hideo Itami, which.
Yeah.
So William Regal came out and introduced Kenta, who cut this promo in Japanese first, and he recut it in English, saying that he doesn't want to be called Kenta anymore. He wants to be called Hideo Itami, which is some kind of like reference to some kind of like, I don't know who it's a reference to actually. What'd you say?
I was just making a joke. He's Hideo Kojima is the creator of the Metal Gear Solid series, but I don't think that's what it was. Yeah, I think no one could really find out what it was. Like people were trying to look at it, like unless it is Hideo Kojima or something like that. That would be his idol, obviously.
Did they change his name because WWE doesn't own the rights to Kenta? Or why do they change the name?
I don't know why they changed the name. I think it probably is something along the lines of that, which is probably the worst part of the WWE. I think is their like refusal.
His name is actually Kenta Kobayashi.
I know.
But maybe they don't own the rights to the capitalized.
I think Hideo Itami is actually a pretty good name. I think it's pretty good. I like it. It's chantable as well. I do prefer Kenta.
Well, see,
because
the thing
it's
is,
a better chant.
So the Ascension come out, just after they lost their match early on the night, they came out, and Kenta takes them out, and people at first start chanting Kenta, but then they start chanting Hideo.
Yeah, good sign.
It's a good sign. It's like people are accepting of his name change, and it looks like he'll be involved in a feud with them. There's not much to say about this segment. It was just him coming out and
by the way, this Kenta, Hideo, he's like he barely like knows much English. He learned English, when coming down here. So he's came a long way, I think. I think he's came a long way, and his promo was, like you could tell he was very nervous and he was very like he paused a bit and because he was trying to think about what to say. So all the credit in the world to him, like fantastic job, I think he's going to be pretty over no matter what he does.
Yeah, exactly.
People will just respect his ring work.
And he has
seen him.
He has a natural charisma too, actually.
I think he does, yeah. Even though his English isn't his first language or anything like that, you kind of like. I love the way he speaks. You know what I mean? Like, what did he say? Like NXT. He said something about what did he say? Like, what did he say about NXT? He said something like, "I am here to NXT. I'm here, to
He's living
dominate."
A dream or something.
Yeah, NXT is dream come true.
That's right. Yeah. My brother thought that was a bit racist for some reason.
Well, that's not what racism means.
No, I know, but he's like, he thought it was a bit racist. Like, you just sounded just generally racist or something.
Well, but he's wrong. But yeah, good on you, Liam. You're incorrect, but that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah, I suppose so. Anyway, so the main events.
It's not racist. I don't understand that.
No, I don't know. He just thought it was like he didn't know that he didn't speak English.
Oh, right. So he thought he was cutting a promo.
No, but he thought he was cutting a promo
foreigner
with a you know,
intentional.
intentional Japanese accent or something.
Well, okay, fair enough.
He
But
doesn't know Kenta.
that's the thing. Well, obviously, I guess that's the thing. But yeah, no.
He
So
was
he
telling
doesn't.
me, he's like, oh my god, this guy better be as good as Yoshitatsu.
Oh, did you hear that time when someone? Oh wait, no. I think it was at the pre-show or something like that, and someone said like, "Oh no, 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 it was William Regal. It was like the biggest Japanese superstar, of all time, biggest international superstar." And someone yells out Yoshitatsu.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing. Like, my brother remembers Yoshitatsu, so he's like,
Oh, Yoshitatsu never got a
my
fair
brother
go,
liked
but
Yoshitatsu, so he's like, this guy better be as good as Yoshitatsu.
yeah,
Anyway, so yeah, actually, so there were two main events apparently on this show, and I love the fact that they actually marketed the women's title match as a main event.
and you know what?
What?
After that match, it deserves to be called a main event. I think, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was really, really good actually. Bailey and Charlotte in a really well done match, telling a great story with the
Oh yeah,
ex-friend underdog just wants to be champion, wants to live a dream, is living the dream, that kind of thing. It's Bailey's selling in this was amazing.
yes, yes, it was.
Like women wrestlers. I don't understand. Like I'm watching Bailey in this match against Charlotte in the promo beforehand, where she's visibly tearing about how she's in this spot and how she's like living the dream and how she got to be friends with Ric Flair's daughter. And then I go over on Raw, and what do I see? Rosa Mendez
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
match, and it's like,
Fucking nice.
fuck off, Rosa Mendez. You've been to the Methadone clinic or whatever, the Method One clinic or something. It's like, your dream is to be a wrestler. You see these articles about her, but I don't know, I don't feel it from her. But
No,
Bailey,
no, you don't.
you feel Bailey is appreciative for every single second she's got here because she doesn't look, she doesn't have that Playboy supermodel look.
I still think she's pretty. I'm going to be honest with you. I can see the appeal in Bailey. I'm not
I
going to
see the
lie.
appeal too, but she's not like
But yeah, I know what you're saying.
typically
She's not
attractive.
typically diva. Do you know what I mean? As they'd say, like she doesn't look like a typical diva.
Yeah, and I mean her
She's
body
not.
isn't
She's
like.
not here to be a cover girl. She's here to cover girls.
I would actually go so far as to say Bailey is the anti-diva.
Yeah, in some ways.
I mean, she's not like the glamorous. She's not glamorous at all. Essentially, she's awkward. She's fangirlish.
Oh, I love her character.
I
To be
love
honest.
it. Bailey's character is great actually, and it's just the thing is that if you look at any other diva, they all are striving to just be these perfect, like blonde, brunette, whatever have you, attractive women. Where Bailey's character is beyond that. It transpires. It goes beyond that.
Yeah.
And Charlotte is getting very, very good.
Yes. Yes. I think I
She
definitely
has
agree.
improved leaps and bounds, and
Oh yeah, I remember when I was dissing her against her match against Alexa Bliss. She couldn't carry her, this is like Alexa's second match.
yeah,
This is a couple months ago, and now she really, really has got it. I think. Not that I'm like some expert on like ring work and shit, but I just think she definitely has it now. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Well,
for sure.
she is. Yeah, she's had two great matches on these two NXT Takeover shows. One against Natalia on the last.
There hasn't been a single bad NXT women's match on a pay-per-view type thing.
No, there hasn't.
Paige versus Emma was excellent. Natalia versus Thinger was excellent, and this was excellent. You know what I mean? Just good on them.
Pure wrestling,
Fucking hell.
and I was really rooting for Bailey to win this match.
Oh, I was upset when she lost, but
Wait.
I understand why, and I know that the payoff is going to be fucking fantastic.
And I just thought, as well, just a little thing to point out. I thought Charlotte's moonsault looked really, really good.
Yeah, even though it didn't properly land,
No, I'm the actual like
the
salt
actual
itself.
the air time was. She's just too tall. That's all. That's the thing. She's just too tall. She basically landed on her feet.
Yeah,
It was insane.
it was really cool actually. But yeah, I think yeah, the women's division in NXT is just too damn good.
It does bring up a point. Like honestly, you know me. I could discuss the whole women's thing for like 6 hours, and watching this match, the cynic in me, all I've thought is, and then you go back to Raw, as you just said, and then you go back to the fucking horse shit that they put on TV.
Jerry.
You know what I mean? It's just despicable how these women on NXT are that much better than the Bellas. Do you know what I mean? That much better. I care about the storyline with Bailey. You know what I mean?
And it can make you care about like think about a simple face turn after the match.
It wasn't a face turn.
Well, whatever it was, it was
It was cool. It's called nuance.
It's cool.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
face turn. It's nuance. It's to giving respect to her, but she's still not a good guy. If you
Well,
get
I
what I'm
don't know. I
saying.
don't know if she's a good.
You haven't
She
seen
may be.
the post show.
No, I didn't. So obviously, but I mean,
Exactly. So therefore,
but I never really thought Charlotte was a heel. I always thought she was sort of this like in betweener kind of like not tweener, but like because the crowd connects with her. She does the woos. I mean, it's not designed to be straight up a heel.
no,
If you know what I'm saying.
no, it's
It,
yeah.
it's designed to be sort of like, yeah, sure, you can get behind me because I'm really good, and you're free to actually accept the fact that I'm good. And Bailey's just such a super face that even if you're a sort of tweener, anyone going against Bailey will look like a heel. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. No, yeah, she, the difference between a character on, Raw and all that, and that is that, yeah, basically, Charlotte is a tweener or not even that. She's just detailed. She's just a nuanced character. She's not a good guy, that's for sure. But she's not just purely like square. What's the word? Like, what's the word for it? Like, like just a typical heel with like, just I'm a heel because I'm a heel. You know what I mean? Stick figure. What's the word? Like, what's the word? Where you say like just a really like lame kind of excuse for
Yeah,
a heel.
yeah. I know what you're
You know
saying.
what I
Like
mean? Like
cut
just
out or something,
yeah,
cardboard cut
yeah,
out,
cardboard cut out heel.
template or
So,
something.
what I think, what I need to explain to you happens after the match, which adds to it even more. Well, not after the match, but yeah. Firstly, after the match, we've got Sasha Banks coming out, and she beats down Thingo, and I'm glad she got in the show, to be honest, because I think she's amazing as
So
well.
you don't think she's
Honestly,
Ratchet?
no, she's definitely not Ratchet. I would be the crowd part of the crowd that says no, she's not. That was a great chant, actually.
I love the shirt actually. I'm not Ratchet.
Yeah, I'd probably get that shirt
I
just
should I should
to.
buy Carol one of those shirts.
Yeah, exactly. I should get that. Make type. I should like write a file on there or something.
Well, yeah,
You
we
know.
in our Balls Australia reviews, we should just write five, and we should
No,
both say,
seriously, if they make a shirt for that, I'll buy it.
well, I'm not Ratchet 5.
I would no. I'm not Ratchet. I would
Oh,
buy it
right. Yeah.
just to get the 5. But so yeah, she came out and to bring me back to my Raw way, she looked very nice. I think she looked cool. I always rate Sasha Banks, but what's the word? So what happens to discuss all the whole like, oh, not purely face, not purely, obviously Charlotte has some form of respect now towards Bailey. And so, she didn't tolerate the whole, taking over. But not only that, I think it also comes from the angle of like the BFFs thing. That's not done yet. And that's the awesome thing about this angle as well, is that it showed us that like there's some continuity in this universe. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, well, that's the great thing about NXT, isn't it? They actually they don't just drop storylines or drop rivalries. They
No.
think
No.
about this. NXT Charlotte turned on Bailey what, like a year ago?
Yeah, quite a while
Around a
ago.
year ago, and they're still referring back to that.
Yes. That's called detail.
Yeah, that's called, and that's called, actually giving a shit about history.
And more importantly, women as well. You know what I mean? In general, they actually care. And I'll tell you this, and this will break your heart, but after at the post show, Bailey comes out and she starts speaking to her, and she's in tears, and like it's just so emotional to watch, because it's like, she says that this little girl in the front of the crowd was crying because she didn't win and all that shit, and she wants to make sure she beats Charlotte, and I was just like, fuck yeah, that's right, you are the best. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was so great to see. And then Charlotte comes out. She says, like, I respect you and all that. And then she says, I'll beat you again, or something like that, to Charlotte. And then Charlotte's like, oh, we won't get that far, to beat you. To basically to maintain that she's still not 100% good, as I said, nuance. And then Sasha comes out, abuses them both, and then leaves. And
So
like, she
triple
goes like,
threat
oh,
match, you reckon?
you're gonna cry to your dad, who was absent.
Yeah.
So
do you reckon this will be a triple threat match? The next show?
I don't
Sasha
know.
Banks versus
Maybe.
Charlotte. Yeah, could be.
Or I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But all I have to say is that the fact that I don't know makes me incredibly interested.
Because I want to see Bailey win the title, but at the same time, I really think Sasha Banks would make a great women's
The
champion.
thing is, there's so many good women in this division.
Alexa
Seriously,
Bliss,
I'm
Becky
serious.
Lynch.
Like Alexa Bliss needs, obviously it has a long way to go, but like she's gonna be good. I mean, you can see it. I mean, if Triple H, like, let's be honest, he's always, even though I don't really like him, he's always been a pretty damn good like judge of talent with a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, he picked Baron Corbin. He picked Adrian Neville, Sami Zayn. Do you know what I mean? Like, he knows his shit. Kenta, Steen, who are all these guys that people like and appreciate from their wrestling ability. So, we've got Alexa Bliss, we've got Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bailey. I mean, there's just a shitload of people that can have a contention for a title and feuds. Do you know what I mean? Like, and simply put, they have managed to take two of the some of the best female wrestlers in Paige and AJ, you know what I mean, like in NXT and WWE, and made me not even give a fucking shit about their storyline. I don't even care about this lesbian storyline that they're doing or whatever.
Wait, are they doing a lesbian storyline? I don't even.
Have you watched it?
I would be lying if I said yes, so I will say
There
no.
we go. Exactly. So it's kind of all lesbianism shit.
Well, I don't really care, you see.
No, that's
so-
the problem, because it's shit, and especially now they've added in the Bellas, it's just made it really
And
really bad.
let's just say, I'm sure I'm going to do my gloating on our SummerSlam preview show, but didn't I call that?
Oh yeah, you
Didn't I?
did.
Didn't I call that?
It's not genius to call it either, though.
You didn't call it. I called it. Shut up.
Yeah, but I said I agree with you. I
Don't
said
take
yes.
my
I said yes. I believe that will happen.
credit. Anyway, shall we get onto the main event here?
I guess, yeah.
Because I really want to talk about this match because I think this match could be the best match of the entire year.
Yeah, a lot of people like to kind of call it down, say, "Oh, well, there was a botch here, so it technically wasn't the match of the year." But to me, I think to me it was my favorite match of the year. So
Yeah, NXT Championship Fatal 4-Way match. What the whole show was really based around, which I think is cool that they actually did that kind of thing. Like, the show is called Fatal 4-Way. All the promo material, like on Raw, featured these guys in tag match. So it's Adrian Neville defending against Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, and Tyson Kidd. And this match was just phenomenal. Like, this is how a Fatal 4-Way match should be done. This should be the blueprint for every Fatal 4-Way match. It's like,
yes, it should be.
you have two guys in the ring, you have two guys outside the ring, and then you just keep changing combinations constantly. You get to a point where Tyson Kidd, he deserves a lot of credit.
Oh,
'cause
man, that
he was
guy.
tremendous in this match. His psychology in this match was amazing.
I was so happy when he kicked out of that power bomb thing. I was like, yes, he looks strong as hell. You know what I mean?
He looked really good with the whole keep one guy in the ring and then keep the other two out of the ring.
Yes.
Like, he gets it. Tyson Kidd gets it.
Yes, he does.
And I would love to see this guy go further. And I hope he does, but I don't have high hopes that he does. I think this is almost a punishment for him that's turned into this kind of saving grace.
Okay, I don't think that it's a punishment, because I just don't think Triple H, the guy that's like very much involved with this, would use the type of airtime he's getting here as saying, well, fuck you, because what is he going to do on the main show? He can't do anything on the main show. This is definitely a good thing for Tyson Kidd.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I know you can kind of think, oh yeah, it's a bad thing. What's he going to do? You know what I mean? But think about it, as opposed to what? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
obviously, as opposed to jobbing. Exactly. He's treated as a legitimate contender. Even though he hasn't won too many times, if he won, I wouldn't say that would be unbelievable. I'd say that'd be genuinely believable.
At one point, I thought he would really win the title here. At one point, I thought everyone would win the title. There was a point where I thought Tyler Breeze
Tyler Breeze, yeah.
at the end against Sami Zayn,
Yep.
There's a great spot where, like, Tyler Breeze is in the sharpshooter, and it looks like he's going to tap out, and then Adrian Neville comes in and actually stops the hand tap.
Very good stuff.
Which I thought it made, everything in this match made sense. And there was nothing that was like, why would they do that? That doesn't make sense. That's questionable. Like, everything, right down to the fact that, yes, Adrian Neville is a face, but in order to save his title, he will pull the referee out of the ring to stop the count.
Yeah, and I was happy with that. I thought that was a good idea.
John Cena wouldn't do that.
Yeah, because John Cena's shit.
John Cena doesn't have any kind of, like, level to his character apart from being a clean-cut babyface. Whereas Adrian Neville will take this kind of advantage when he sees it. Because, I mean...
And why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Like, just I cannot give enough praise to this match. If you have not seen this match, I highly recommend. If you have not seen this pay-per-view, I highly recommend. But the match in particular, even my brother, this guy who doesn't really watch wrestling, got into this match.
Oh, it was. I think it was 5 out of 5. Um, you know, Sami Zayn's through the ropes combo bit. Towards the
Yeah,
end.
that my brother really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean that's just wrestling. I showed my friend that, and like he's one of those like, oh, I can't take wrestling seriously type
Yeah.
people, and it didn't really alter him that much. But that's because he's one of those people. The problem, the thing with wrestling is that people are just people. You can't convince people. People won't. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter what you show them. They're still going to go, well, that doesn't make any sense. That's not real. Which annoys me because that kind of thing there, what he just did there was phenomenal. Yes, we know he's not actually hurting him, but it's still very, very, very impressive what he did there.
Oh yeah,
You know?
definitely. Like I just really thought that everything done in this match was tremendous. I didn't think there was a single thing that they didn't do wrong. Everyone's going to remember, of course, the spot where the two guys were going for. So a couple times in the match, the heels actually did suplexes, double team suplexes to the other faces, and so it looked like they were going to do a double team superplex to Adrian Neville. But then Sami Zayn comes in and turns it into a double powerbomb, double superplex spot, which looked fantastic. The symmetry on that was amazing.
You got that right.
And
That was,
it looked really good. Like most of the time, those kind of things look slightly off,
hmm
but I would put that akin to the German suplex into a superplex thing from Vengeance 2006.
Oh, yes,
From that
from the
spot.
triple threat
Yeah, the triple
for
threat
the
for the
IC
IC title.
title. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and when Tyson Kidd actually kicked out of that was a great moment for him.
Yeah, I was glad that he got to kick out of that.
I was kind of sad when this match ended though, because I really wanted it to
It
continue.
went for a while too, didn't it?
Yeah, it went for like because the first part of the match was really the feeling out process, and it felt like they were setting up things so that later on they could blow you away, which they did.
hmm
And everyone got their thing. Like, Tyler Breeze got his beauty shot and like a super kick and some other drop kick thing in, and it looked like he was going to win. And
That
a
was
couple
great.
times,
Yeah.
see the brilliant thing about the booking of Tyler Breeze was he was not in it that much, and I thought that was going to play into something. I thought they were going to make it that he would come in and get like a sneak victory. It looked many times like Sami Zayn was going to win. It looked like Tyson Kidd was going to win. Everyone actually was believable.
And in fact, even Adrian Neville was not kept out of it pretty early too. You
Yeah.
notice that the commentators say like, "Oh, he's not getting into this." He kept getting in the ring and he got kicked back out. So it was quite good
Like
to see that.
put this up against the one at Battleground for the Fatal 4-Way. Now, that in that match, it was
Yeah.
either okay, Roman Reigns might win, but John Cena will definitely win. Whereas in this one, everyone had an equal. You
Chance.
equally thought that everyone was going to win, which
That's
they did
exactly right.
phenomenally, and it also there were a lot of little story elements within the match itself, like the whole face-off between Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville, which everyone really wanted to see and we didn't quite get, but I think that has to be the next one.
They're feeling us out for it.
I think everyone was. I'm interested in seeing that. I really want to see that actually. Sami Zayn versus Adrian.
Think about this. Imagine in like 2008 saying, "Oh, Pac versus El Generico in a WWE ring." You know what I mean? People just wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
These two guys are big indie guys, for anyone that doesn't know, but I'm sure you do. So, that kind of match is basically the definition of a dream match. Do you know what I mean? Like in many regards. So when they do, I mean, they have had a singles match before, yes, but I mean for the title, that would be just amazing.
Well,
Holy crap!
The story around a match like that now would be really.
And yeah, the good thing is that Neville's still a face, but like he did something that arguably people say, oh, that seems a bit heelish to do that. Now, obviously, if I was him, I'd do the same thing. But in the realm of the universe, I think the question is, would Sami Zayn do that? No, he wouldn't. And that's the difference. It's like super face versus face, if you get what I'm saying.
And Zayn selling when like he
lost.
tried to come into the ring and stop the pinfall.
Yeah.
His selling was tremendous.
Sami Zayn does that just every time. He is just fantastic like that. You feel for him like you feel for Bailey, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like the expression, the facials on Sami Zayn are amazing. Like
That's it. Yeah.
just discussing this match on a podcast does not do it justice. You need to actually see this match. I think it's definitely the best NXT match all year.
One of my favorites, yeah. I mean, I think there's a couple of good contenders there too. I think really there's a lot of good matches,
Mm.
that's for sure. But this is top five, top three, definitely.
I think this is probably the best actual match of the year in WWE overall, actually.
I agree. And there's this trend that's going on now because of the overwhelming response of NXT Takeover 2, that people are starting to like say that it's like a circle jerk. Do you know what I mean? People are like,
Mm.
oh yeah, it wasn't that good. Like if you were going Reddit and you go on like their thread Zero Fucks Friday, people are like, I didn't think Takeover was that good, because they're really trying to be hipsters about it. You know, it's like, just admit it, guys. It was the best fucking show of just about the whole year.
Mm.
What was there to criticize about it? Like, I just don't understand what the entertainment wise, there was nothing there that made me go, oh man, this is so shit. Do you know what I mean? Like there was nothing about it that was bad, if you ask me.
Yeah,
I
nothing.
think, and on top of that, the thing is that everything in NXT is perfectly paced. You know what I mean? There's not a single pacing issue with the show. With WWE, someone put this eloquently. Someone said that NXT is like cramming a 90-minute show into a 60-minute show, and Raw is like cramming a 90-minute show into a 3-hour show.
Yeah,
Or something like
essentially.
that. You know what I mean? That is what it feels like. There's no fluff with NXT. Everything is done. Everything is accomplished. On Raw, it's a promotional machine used to promote their shitty crap. Do you know what I mean? Oh, here's a recap. Here's a recap. Here's a replay. Here's a promotion. Here's the WWE Network. Here's Twitter. Here's Instagram. That's all that Raw and SmackDown are. But NXT, everything is just done. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just excellently, organized.
It feels like every second is
Every second is used.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, definitely recommend the match and the whole
Yeah. Hopefully
live
every second
event.
of this podcast was used.
Yeah, probably. We'll
Because
see.
I felt like we usually just do podcasts for the big shows like the pay-per-views,
This is a big show in its own right.
but something like this deserved to be covered, and I think definitely give it a watch. I mean, if you have the network, watch on the network. If you don't, watch it by your own means.
Do whatever you want.
Go over
Just
to a friend's house.
download it. Do whatever. Just watch it so then it gives you a reason to maybe find a way to purchase them. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think if WWE kind of just gave out this as a feel, if they maybe just showed this on television. I mean, obviously it wouldn't, but I mean, like show this somewhere for free or something just to get, because this is a perfect way to sell you on the network.
Oh,
A
for
show
sure.
like this, if you're a fan of wrestling, is the perfect way to sell you on the network.
That is exactly right. And it does sound a little bit kind of what's the word? Like I'm being a huge bandwagoner. But honestly, if you compare this to what, I'm sorry for people that don't like this, but compare this to Brock vs. Cena 2. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about any of it. None of it. They've done nothing to make me care. They've just squashed Bray Wyatt, and that's about it. Cool. Great. I really care about that. Brock, that match makes Brock look shit. I know that's a completely different type of wrestling, but I don't give an absolute fuck about him at all.
No.
You know what? I know it sounds flippy shit. I would rather see Sami Zayn wrestle for 20 minutes than I would to see Brock wrestle for 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's the problem with this Brock Lesnar thing. Is like, we'll cover it in our next show, which will be the Night of Champions
prediction
preview.
show, which will be very soon, actually.
Yeah, very soon, because that's coming up. But yeah, like I'm guaranteed
touch upon.
this is what will happen in that match, and I'll say this again on the podcast. But he'll go for the F5 in the first few seconds, and John Cena will counter out of it, maybe into his own FU or something, and it'll be more competitive. But then Brock Lesnar will get the win, no matter what. But anyway, that's for that. But
so the point is that if you're asking me, if you're saying CrystalFissure, what would you rather watch, this or what Night of Champions is going to be? I would say watch this. Watch Takeover 2.
Yep.
If don't you think? Would you give the same?
I would say.
We haven't seen Night of Champions, but based on hype alone, and of
I was
course
more looking
the
forward to
one with
this.
Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, I was more looking forward to this than I am looking forward to Night of Champions. I'll say that much.
Now this has proved it. I think definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Go out of your way to watch this, because it'll be worth your time.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. We can
And
end
with
it
that,
now.
I think we're done with this show. So yeah, don't forget to watch us on SlideSpin TV if you're not watching us there, because that's a spot you can get all our premium content for without having to pay any kind of
Yeah.
premium fee for it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just it's
Spot on.
free, and if you want to go over there, please by all means check out. And if you watch the end of this podcast, then thank you very much, because apparently you're in the top 2% of people who are doing this, because whatever.
Yeah.
But
Brilliant.
we haven't done many of these. We're getting into the flow of things here, so yeah.
More often, yeah.
Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you later with our Night Champions preview show.
Which will not compare to Takeover. See ya.
Bye.